Your smartphone is a miracle of modern engineering. Your electric vehicle is a symbol of environmental progress. The wind turbine on the horizon is the promise of a green tomorrow. Now, here is the reality check: none of it belongs to you. Not truly. Every time you engage with green technology, you are interacting with a system that is more centralized, more opaque, and more strategically volatile than the oil markets of the 1970s. You have been told that we are transitioning away from dirty fuels to clean energy. That is a lie. We are simply transitioning from a dependence on liquid hydrocarbons to a dependence on solid minerals. The green revolution is built on a foundation of high-intensity mining and a processing monopoly that makes OPEC look like a disorganized lemonade stand. Disclaimer: this investigation is not an argument against renewable energy. It is an analysis of the systemic vulnerability inherent in the supply chains that make that energy possible. We deal in data, not ideology. The system, the 30-year trap. In 1992, Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping made a statement that should have been the most scrutinized quote of the century: "The Middle East has oil, China has rare earths." While the West spent the next 3 decades focused on the war on terror and digital consumerism, China executed a masterclass in vertical integration. They didn't just find the minerals, they built the kitchen to cook them. According to the United States Geological Survey, USGS, 2024 mineral commodity summaries, China currently accounts for approximately 70% of global rare earth production. However, that figure is actually misleading. When you look at the processing and refining, the stage where raw ore becomes the high-purity magnets needed for F-35 fighter jets and Tesla motors, China's grip tightens to nearly 90%. The West didn't lose this race, it walked off the track. We offshored the environmental dirtiness of mineral processing to save a few cents on the dollar, effectively trading our strategic autonomy for cheap consumer goods. Your smart dependency. Think about your own life. You likely feel a sense of anxiety when your phone battery hits 1%. That feeling of being tethered to a device you don't understand is a micro version of what national governments are feeling right now. We love the magic of technology. We love that our headphones are tiny and our screens are vibrant. But that magic is enabled by neodymium, dysprosium, and terbium. You have likely never heard these names, yet you carry them in your pocket every single day. You are part of the system. Your demand for thinner, faster, lighter is the engine that fuels this monopoly. The anatomy of the monopoly: beyond the mine. Common assumption: we just need to find more mines in the West. Reality: mining is the easy part. The rare earth cartel is not a mining cartel, it is a processing cartel. Rare earth elements, REE, are not actually rare in the Earth's crust. Cerium, for example, is more abundant than copper. The difficulty lies in the chemical separation. These elements are pathological in their chemical similarity. Separating them requires thousands of stages of solvent extraction, involving toxic acids and radioactive byproducts like thorium. China's competitive advantage isn't just geological, it's systemic. 1. Environmental arbitrage. For decades, China accepted the ecological cost that Western environmental regulations rightfully prohibited. 2. State subsidies. According to a report by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, the Chinese government provided massive tax rebates and direct funding to their rare earth giants, such as the newly formed China Rare Earth Group, created through a state-mandated merger in 2021. By the time the West woke up, the knowledge gap was a canyon. We don't just lack the mines, we lack the chemists, the specialized equipment, and the 30 years of trial and error experience. The high-stakes math, the cost of disruption. Let's look at the numbers. In 2010, following a maritime dispute, China reportedly restricted rare earth exports to Japan. Within weeks, the price of dysprosium, essential for high-performance magnets, shot up by nearly 500%. If a full-scale trade war were to occur today, the International Energy Agency, IEA, predicts that the cost of reaching net zero targets would skyrocket. A single EV permanent magnet motor requires roughly 1 to 2 kilograms of rare earth magnets. Without them, the motor efficiency drops, the range decreases, and the green future stalls on the side of the road. The dark secret, weaponized interdependence. The philosopher and strategist Sun Tzu wrote, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." This is the invisible monopoly. It is not a weapon that explodes, it is a weapon that withholds. It is the power to turn off the lights of a rival nation's industrial base without firing a single shot. When you hear about de-risking or friend-shoring in the news, you are hearing the frantic whispers of leaders who realize they have built their entire military and energy infrastructure on a foundation controlled by the primary geopolitical rival. The counterintuitive truth, the recycled myth. You might think, can't we just recycle our old phones? It's a noble thought, but current data from the United Nations Global E-Waste Monitor shows that less than 1% of rare earth elements are currently recovered from end-of-life products. The complexity of the devices makes extraction more expensive than mining new material. We are essentially throwing our strategic reserves into landfills. Conclusion: the 18-month rule of nations. Just as individuals must learn to delay gratification to build wealth, nations must learn to endure high costs today to secure autonomy tomorrow. The West is currently attempting to build a domestic supply chain in 18 months that China spent 30 years perfecting. It is a race against time, chemistry, and economics. The question for you is no longer, is my energy green? The question is my energy sovereign? If you want to understand the hidden architecture of the world, the things they don't teach in economics textbooks, you need to look at the dirt. Because the future isn't in the cloud. It's in the crust. Stay grounded. Follow the supply chain. Watch the power shift. Subscribe to Global Ledger, as we continue to deconstruct the systems of power. Comment, sovereign below if you think the West can catch up, or monopoly if you think the game is already over.